I don't know if you guys have paid attention, but there were some recent documents that have been leaked as far as the DHS and their misinformation board. Now, we knew about the misinformation governance board that they announced a while ago. Everybody got up in arms. I mean, it was a full force attack on it, and they ended up like ceasing it. Well, they never actually ceased it, and this program has been going on before that even happened. So, getting into this, it's a lot of documents and everything. I'm not going to get into all that stuff, but Facebook and Twitter have portals for the government to issue a rapid request for content removal or suppression. This is a portal where if the government finds a post, a subject that they don't want talked about, they put in a request to this and it instantly gets sent to who it needs to, and they can go in and either remove it completely or they will start suppressing it or shadow banning type of thing. Where there was I read something about how Facebook has a thing where if you're talking about a specific subject and they think it's misinformation, they'll actually hide it from, you can still post it, but they'll hide it from everybody so nobody can even find the post. So this is a part of that program that was going on. Now, like I said, the Disinformation Governance Board was always there. They were just announcing it out there, and everybody got up in arms about it, and so they just said, oh, no, we're going to get rid of it, da-da-da. Well, no, it was always there. It was just announced later. This is a part of the DHS CISA, C-I-S-A, agency. The DHS released bulletins on misinformation as a terrorist threat, which is why the DHS is involved with this. So we talked about this, what was it? This was like over a year ago, I think. About a year ago or over a year ago, where there was a DHS bulletin that they put out where they declared anybody who speaks misinformation, disinformation, and some other type of information thing is technically declared a domestic terrorist. That was a legitimate bulletin that the DHS put out. They put that out because that allows the DHS to get involved with misinformation, which allows them to do this program that they were doing, the CISA agency program that they were doing. So that's how they're able to operate in that thing, even though the government agencies operate however they want to. They still went through this to have some type of legality to it. What's very interesting on this is you've got JP Morgan Chase, the bank, attended meetings every month with the CISA board, and even they were quoted as saying they need media infrastructure to be held accountable. So they attended these meetings with the DHS CISA agency board on misinformation and said these media companies, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, need to be held accountable for what other people are putting on there. If what they don't like is being talked about, then they need to start addressing it. And that's the bank. That's JP Morgan Bank. Yeah, this is going to be attached to social credit and central bank digital currency and all that stuff. It's all going to be a part of it. It's all wrapped up in the one giant package. And so some of the other quotes coming out, there was texts from former CISA, a former CISA top election security official. That's exactly what you think it is. It's somebody who was supposed to be on watch of election stuff and deemed what's misinformation. His name is Matt Masterson. He sent a text to DHS Director Jen Easterly to call upon platforms to get more comfortable with government. So he was talking about how these social media companies and all these platforms need to start working more and more and more with the government groups. Basically, they're just a part of the government at that point. Now, just a little note, this Matt Masterson guy who worked for CISA and all that stuff, well, he left the DHS and the CISA, and now Matt works for Microsoft as Director of Information Integrity. Right. Yeah. Okay. We'll go with that. Now, there is a whole bunch of different code words, a whole bunch of different targets, but some of the main targets include the COOF vitamins. Again, follow along, COOF vitamins. Racial justice stuff, the Afghanistan withdrawal, and U.S. support for Ukraine is the most recent one. That's why you keep seeing all this stuff about how anybody who says Ukraine is losing and stuff like that, you're a part of the Russian misinformation thing, you're a Russian bot and all that stuff. Well, that's a part of it as well. So those are some of the main targets. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but that was the main stuff that they were doing. Now, besides JP Morgan Chase, keep in mind, this stuff was happening back in like 2018, through 2020, still happening now, but the main setup of this was then, I'll get to that in a second. But other than JP Morgan Chase, you had people joining like from Twitter, officials from Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Discord, Wikipedia, Microsoft, LinkedIn, and Verizon Media. They all met monthly with the FBI, CISA, and other agencies. So all those groups, which they're mainly platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, that's social media stuff. Discord is like a chat thing for, it's a voice chat program. It's more social media type of thing. Wikipedia, we know Wikipedia, don't ever get information from Wikipedia. Microsoft, of course. LinkedIn, it's basically another social media platform. And all of Verizon Media. I'm sure there's other ones. Those are the ones that I found when I was reading the document. They all met monthly with FBI, CISA, and all that stuff to push this forward, this misinformation stuff forward. After several hacks of U.S. firms in 2018, now this is where it gets interesting. In 2018, there were several U.S. firms, large U.S. firms, that got hacked. After those hacks happened, Congress passed, and sorry guys, this is just how it is. Congress passed and Trump signed the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency Act. I know I'm going to get some heat. I'm going to get some hate, but this is just a fact. This is what it is. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency Act. This new bill created a new DHS wing devoted to national security infrastructure, which branches into policing disinformation. So this bill that was passed and signed by Congress and Trump in 2018 created this DHS wing, this Disinformation Governance Board that everybody was up in arms about. This is the same one that was pushing so heavily on the social media apps against the Koof vitamin stuff, which that makes sense. Sorry, but Trump, his warp speed program, that's exactly what that was. It starts on the Afghanistan stuff. That's Biden there and stuff. Like I said, it's still going all the way through in today. But this wing, this group, this disinformation policing, all that stuff was in 2018. What started as a task force to respond to election disinformation. So the thing was even created for election disinformation while Trump was still in office. Then started growing into the Koof stuff, started growing into the Afghanistan stuff, Ukraine stuff, all that stuff. The main member of CISA's advisory committee is ex-Twitter head of legal policy of Vijaya Gaddy, not sure. She was just recently fired after Elon Musk took over Twitter. I'm working on something on Elon Musk that let's just say it's going to be its own separate video, and it's only going to be on Rumble and Odyssey. There's some stuff on there that there's absolutely no way YouTube will allow me to talk about. But just because this chick was fired does not mean that Elon Musk is here to save the day. Not by a long shot. He is fully wrapped up in all of this stuff as well. But she was one of the main advisory committee people for CISA on this stuff. So this Disinformation Governance Board, which everybody was up in arms about, was actually formed in 2018 from that, I always have to have it wordy, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency Act, which was formed mainly for election disinformation, but then started going into Koof stuff, and that's where the DHS started expanding with their domestic terrorist thing, and then they started getting into all this stuff. That's why all of this social media and everything is happening with this censorship and everything is because of that. So, yeah. Like I said, there is a bunch of documents on that. There is a bunch of information on that. That's kind of the rundown of who, what, where, and why.